Colorado will soon officially recognize another public health crisis. Unlike coronavirus, this one has been with us for centuries.
And after months of reflection, the state will declare racism a persistent and serious threat to the public's well-being.
Denver 7's Megan Lopez tonight on how we got here and what it means for our communities.
It's hard to define this moment in time. Nationwide protests after decades of inequity. A global pandemic that's disrupted daily life. In Jefferson County, those two topics are more closely related than you might think.
There is a public health crisis in terms of racism.
Community Health Services Division Director Margaret Huffman believes the issue is on two fronts.
Racism and structural racism is a chronic public health crisis.
Something that's been going on in public health settings for years, from maternal mortality rates to obesity, diabetes, and more. But Huffman believes there's also an acute issue with COVID-19.
Black, Indigenous people of color are disproportionately affected by coronavirus illness.
Even within Jefferson County itself. So last month, county officials declared racism as a public health crisis and are finding ways to address it. Now the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment is getting ready to do the same. Something
we have to understand, that we make assumptions about people, about who they are, what value they bring to the table, etc.
The American Public Health Association has been pushing states to do for years. Dr. Georges Benjamin has seen the racism firsthand.
Quite often people treat folks based on color because they think maybe they don't have, quote unquote, good insurance.
And he hopes declaring a crisis will create urgency to address it. For Black Lives Matter Denver,
my concern is, what is the implications of this? Will this create more funding to examine some of the health disparities among Black, Indigenous, and Latino populations? Or is it just a symbolic gesture?
They want to know what's going to be done about it and how to move words into action.
We're just simply asking for accountability.
It's hard to define this moment in time, but this could be a defining moment for public health. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
The governor's office weighing in as well this evening. They tell us, quote, the governor shares the hope of advocates and the Colorado Department of Health and Environment that elevating racism and racial disparities to a public health crisis helps build the will needed for racial justice.